You beautiful Bravehearts all over the world. I'm Dr. Darrell Wolf, and we're known as the Doc of Detox, and we're here at the Braveheart Nation Studios in Ixtapa, Zihuatanejo, Mexico, where we have the DoD 5-star healing, and health retreat resort. Now, understand something, everyone. Today's topic is osteoporosis, Osteoporosis, is an acidic condition, And what it is you're robbing Peter to pay Paul. Now, I'm going to tell you something, and you can believe this or not believe this. We've got 8-year-olds. I've got 10-year-olds, fracturing, You've never seen, like when I was younger, we would have people falling out of a tree. We would have like major falls. And that's the only way you would break a bone, But understand something. We've got young children that their bones are actually fracturing. And this is why, and do you know why? And this is why, don't tell me that the foundation isn't crumbling. And understand that foundation is built on calcium. We have more calcium in the human body than any other mineral. And it's a good thing that God knew what God was doing in creating us, because calcium is used to keep us alkaline. That's right. So guess what? The more toxic that you are, the more calcium you have to give up. And that means, guess what? That your bones will become like Swiss cheese. And now we have children that are fracturing all over the place. In the United States, we are now the sickest country in the world. And the reality is our children are also the sickest. And our children are actually getting autoimmune diseases that actually we did not get until we were in our 50s and 60s. You think you can't make this stuff up. Let me just set the scenario for you. We know we got the chemtrails. We know that if you live in a major city, that your skies are blocked with it. We know that most people will shower in chlorinated, fluoridated water. We know that most people shop at a supermarket and not 1% of the food is real anymore. Not real. So it's poisoned and malnourished. So there could be a problem here, And the reality is we know that kids, because they're so sweet, that when they're good, mommy's going to give them sweet. If you're good, mommy will give you a treat. So kids are fed worse than any other time in history, and that's why their bones are actually fracturing, because if they didn't fracture, meaning give up the calcium from their bones, that they would have what you call autoimmune diseases that don't exist, what you call cancer, which doesn't exist. And you're going to go, well, what do you mean, Dr. Wolf? Cancer doesn't exist. Autoimmune disease doesn't exist. Well, osteoporosis doesn't actually exist. It's just a name. So if somebody says I got osteoporosis, what I know is that they're highly infected on an emotional and physical level. That's right, because guess what? And you know what? And Dr. Server's not going to talk about this, but I'm going to, because I teach the most powerful brainwash boot camp, emotional, nutritional, and physical course called Whole Life Health Certified. That's right. And in Whole Life Health Certified, it's a 9-day course. We're going to be doing this in Florida, in Stuart, Florida. Right now, we have only, I have no room left for people who just want to come for the Whole Life Health Certified. But if they're taking the Wolf Non-Surgical Certified, which is the most powerful body work in the world, we're the only ones, and all our practitioners give a money-back guarantee that in the first treatment with Wolf Non-Surgical Body Therapy, we will reverse things more than all the other combined. So I do that with everything, my consultations, my trainings, my courses. Understand, I'll stand behind this mouth of mine, and I will give you logic, I won't give you things to baffle the brain. But here we go. So just know this. The majority of the population is actually programmed to always be emotionally immature. And when you're emotionally immature, you're up and down, up and down, up and down. So when you do that, you're dumping adrenaline, cortisol, histamines. Yeah, you are. And you don't even know it. You think it's part of your personality, but you know, most of us will never ever find our authentic personality because we'll never go to brainwash boot camp or spend any money or spend enough time to uncover and discover that your subconscious, 90% of your brain, is running prominent dominant thoughts that are actually causing you to rob Peter to pay Paul. And that means stealing the calcium. And understand something, even people that have like hypercalcemia, they'll go to a doctor and a doctor will go, oh my God, you got to stop. You got to stop with the calcium. You know, anything that's got calcium. Well, little do we know that all calcium products do not work properly. And I said all of them except calcium ion therapy. Now, this one's got science. This one is patented. This one's got hundreds of thousands of testimonials with every autoimmune disease when there is no autoimmune disease, because that means that the body's attacking itself. And understand something, the body would never attack itself, for God's sakes. It was created by God Almighty. And the only reason why your body is attacking any part of your body is because there is a foreign toxic material there. That's it. That's it. If it's in your pancreas getting attacked. If it's in your brain, if it's in your liver, if it's in your joints, if it's in your bowels, it doesn't really matter. That's where it's being attacked. There is no autoimmune diseases. The body doesn't attack itself. The body attacks the poison in that area. And as soon as you realize that, then guess what? You're not so crippled, are you? And there are no autoimmune diseases. There are no genetic diseases. There is just this, all right? Being emotionally immature. And understand, I'm not telling you, I'm just trying to tell you that the majority of the population, there's an 8-year-old, okay, trapped in an adult body, because we've never been given strategies, okay, or techniques on how to not continually act and react. Now, you think this hasn't got anything to do with osteoporosis? Well, guess what? The more that you dump the wrong chemicals, they're highly acidic, adrenaline, cortisol, histamine, they're highly acidic. The body's got to buffer them down. How do you think it does it? Well, it does it by stealing calcium from your bones. Thank you very much, Dr. Wolf. Well, there is the holy grail right there. And then you know what? Let's talk about this. Gallstones. Gallstones are calcium and they're cholesterol. Guess what? There's another person, and that person has a lot of suppressed anger. Oh yeah, well, not everybody gets gallbladder problems. And why are you pulling so much calcium from your bones? Okay? All right, and then what about this? What about calcium deposits in the breast? Well, we know when you get calcium deposits in the breast that you stole the calcium from the sternum, from the ribs, from the clavicle, and these are bones right in that area. So we know there's going to be osteoporosis. You know, we're going to have fracturing in this area. And the reason why we're doing it is the calcium is alkaline. And if it's alkalining actually the tissues. And if you understood this, that guess what? It's actually emotional and physical infection, otherwise poison. You're poisoning yourself on an emotional and physical level. And you're eating so many toxic foods now. If you have to look at a food and actually read the ingredients, you shouldn't be eating it. There you go. There's the deal. And that's why supermarkets are not a place to get your food anymore, because they don't have real food except for 1%, maybe if you're lucky. And I tell everyone, if you took 30% of what you spend at the grocery store and you actually got Doc of Detox nutraceuticals, and I know that's pretty bold of me and it sounds like a marketing pitch, but guess what? Your life would change. That's right. If you knew how to detoxify and you knew that you need to detoxify because you're poisoned, thank you very much, and you're being poisoned, thank you very much, and that you're malnourished because if it's not in the soil, it's not in the food. If it's not in the food and they're not making real food, then guess what? You're malnourished. So why wouldn't London Bridge break down? Why wouldn't you start crumbling? To understand, osteoporosis is a big deal. And whether you believe this or not, any clinic worth their salt that deals with this thing called cancer, that I don't believe there is cancer, there's just stage 4, stage 5 inflammation created by the infection, and what brings down your oxygen levels within your cells because your cells are suffocating, and that's what they call a suffocating cell, an actual cancer cell. There's not enough oxygen left anymore, so it has to live off the lactic acid that you create through emotional, physical, and nutritional unawareness of yourself and what's going on, because it's all a program. We've all been set up by the medical system, what was created by the Rockefellers. And we all go to a Rockefeller school, and when we get out of grade 12 or get out of college or we even get out of medical school, if you go to medical school, you know nothing about health. Thank you very much. And these are all actual facts. So let's understand this. Now, even me, if I were to not wear these Tesla lightwear, and I were to just do, like today, I'm going to be doing about what? I'm going to be doing like 4 hours, and this is blue light poisoning. Look at all the blue lights here. What about the screen? What about the iPad in front of me? Okay, what about the iPhone? What about the LED lighting? And guess what? Most people don't know this, but you are giving up tons of calcium, okay? Tons of calcium from your bones to buffer down what is the worst. Okay, do you know where all the turbo diseases are coming from? It's not just from COVID. And understand something. It's not coming from the COVID, just the COVID shot. Okay, it's coming from blue light. Blue light is absolutely the worst thing on this planet, and people don't get it, and everybody just does it. You know, did you know that after 30 seconds, you're actually shut down the hormones and chemicals that are produced in your child? Did you know that after 3 minutes, you're doing that if you're an adult? That's right, because our skull is thicker. But the problem is, with the blue light, it's going into our eyes, and that's where all the eye disorders are coming from, because you're actually destroying your brain. You heard what I said. Okay, blue light is only supposed to happen at noon, not all day long, and that's how they're poisoning us. Okay, and get it. So the more acidic you become, the more calcium you have to give up. So your bones look like Swiss cheese, and here's the problem, everybody. When you're young, you actually make tons of calcium ions. So when a baby's born, it's like this big, and like every day you see it growing, growing, growing. How does that even happen? Well, because naturally the bones of the baby are fracturing on a continual basis. Like every little centimeter, there's a little crack. The baby's not in pain. This is natural. It gives up calcium ions. The calcium ions create more calcium and fill in the cracks, so the baby gets longer and stronger. What you don't know is by the time you're 30 years old and get into your early 30s, you're not having a lot of bone breaking and making anymore, which you want, because you want to renew yourself. And all of you that are eating fake food, all of you that you're not. When I say this, I am not trying to put you down, but I'm telling you right now, only 1 out of 1,000 people are emotionally mature. I mean, if you don't believe me, take a look at your family, and take a look at your family. How many times the adult pouts? How many times the adult walks away and causes a trauma, and then comes back not even saying a word, like nothing ever happened? Are you kidding me? I mean, the whole world is action, reaction, action, reaction. I mean, that's so exhausting. I mean, I would not want to live on this planet if I was part of the majority. The majority are going down, okay? So like I told you, when a doctor tells you you've got hypercalcemia, too much calcium in your blood, that's basically because you're so acidic, and your body's making an attempt to pull so much calcium, metabolic calcium, okay, and trying to buffer everything down, because you're on your way out. You're going to blow up. And this is why, you know, emotional intelligence is the thing. This is why I tell everyone, you know, I would like to be in a point in my life where I could do like the whole life health certified program for everybody free around the world. But then probably nobody would come and take it, because now it's not worth anything. But the reality is that you think we got trouble now? You think we have trouble now? The next 3 to 5 years, they'll be lining up down the street. Okay? They'll be lining up down the street to come to us. And they are already, but it's just even going to be more than that. My phone never stops ringing now, because we are logical. 1 and 1 is 2. It's not 11. And understand something, all right? I'm going to show you the main product that and I'm going to bring Dr. Server on in a second. This is called Merigen, everybody, Merigen. This was something that was developed that they said could never be developed in the world. This is invisible ions. The same thing that your body make when you're in the prime of your life. From a baby all the way through your teenage years, you are making tons of that. And calcium ions do 120,000 hormonal and chemical processes per second. Per second. So yeah, we're talking about something that they said very expensive to make, I'm telling you. And something, if you go into PubMed, you'll see over the last 100 years, they said it's impossible. Well, 12 years ago, it was invented. Yeah, there you go. And the reality is we've seen just miracles happen. I said miracles. The body is a miracle. And remember something, healing takes place when you replace what was stolen and that was God-given. And that's it. So, you know, we are not healers. We are just trying to restore what has been stolen from us, from the global elites, the supermarkets, the corner stores, you know, all this habitual things that people have, all these addictions. So understand, today we're going to talk about osteoporosis, and it's happening younger than it's ever happened before. And understand something, everyone. You can get it or don't get it, but go ahead. You just spend lots of time on your phone. Well, look at your kids' personalities. Look at yours. Look at the eye burning. Look at the ears ringing. Look at the mouth burning. Okay, look at the achy joints. Look at the exhaustion. You know, oh, I'm exhausted. I'm just going to watch a movie on my computer, on my TV. And guess what? I just want to chill out. Well, guess what? After you watch the movie, you're more exhausted, aren't you? You didn't know it, but it's blue light poisoning. And I already told you that they could have actually taken Tesla's technology, Lahosky's, Rife's technology. They could have used frequencies and light when we're on all of these devices, and it could be healing us. So understand something. This is a life-threatening, fun-filled adventure, and I'm going to bring Dr. Server on, and he's going to talk more scientifically about osteoporosis and about calcium ion therapy and why we do have the holy grail of reversing it. You can believe this or not, but when you go on drugs to actually stop the bone breaking, okay, because, you know, oh my God, you're losing too much bone. Well, guess what? Then you become brittle because you have to break bone, make bone, break bone. That is the natural course. Stop doing that and you will crumble anyway. So we dealt with a gentleman that was 82 years old and his bones were crumbling because of this very problem of this very drug. And also he was older, and also he didn't understand that the majority of the population are absolutely wrong when it comes to everything in health. And, you know, we got him to go, and he actually read the Perfect Day Guide. You can find that at pdgfree.com. He started to understand how to create a perfect day for himself. But guess what? You ready for this? His bones were crumbling. After a year, he had the bone structure, okay, of a healthy 40-year-old. So understand, the calcium ion therapy did that. Nothing else did that. And understand this, everyone, if your teeth are crumbling, okay, just remember they're bones, and you're acidic, okay? Your teeth aren't rotting out because of something you ate. They're rotting out because of your acidic personality, emotionally, react, okay? Because of the toxic foods you eat. You have to give up not just the calcium in your bones, but your teeth, which are bones. And understand, if the inflammation is around your head or your neck, where is it going to take it from? Your jaw and your teeth. Now, I just told you. And understand something. Gum disease, bum disease, that's what it is. Gum disease is bum disease. You don't believe me? You got to detoxify. So how am I doing so far? So I've just told you things that most people don't know, and you're not being told, because, and it's not because the professionals out there are lying. They've been programmed just like you. So I don't mind you coming on and challenge me, and I would like a dentist or a doctor or a scientist to challenge anything that I'm saying is quite all right with me. They can come on a show. But for now, we're going to bring on one of the top specialists with calcium ion therapy and osteoporosis in the world. How are you, Dr. Server?
I'm doing okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Wolf. How about you? Everything's fine?
I'm doing fantastic. And just understand this, everyone, before I let Dr. Server take over, I just want to know that there is a battle going on. And understand, this calcium ion therapy product, it is non-toxic, totally non-toxic, only therapeutic benefits. Never hurt anyone, never could. You can't just go onto our store and buy it. The FDA have created a big bump and a hurdle. The first time that you want to buy it, you have to call in. And we will give you a 6-month code that you can go and you can rebuy it. But when you go in and you want to purchase it, I'm going to call you only to help you, not to sell more things to you, but I want to understand why you're taking it, and then I'll help you with your diet and your lifestyle to make sure that your investment is the best investment and this works for you. So my name is Dr. Darrell Wolf, and it's my pleasure, my honor to do this. This is not a setup. If I could allow you to just go into docofdetoxstore.com and buy the product, I would. But you need to go, you can go there, and if you go to bhnuniversity.com into the Evolve Masterclass section, you can watch all the videos, okay? And they'll blow your mind. Or just join me and Dr. Server every second week, or one of my master practitioners that will be hosting him. But the reality is this: when you go there, don't be frustrated. Okay, we're frustrated, but we have to play this game. So let's see if Donald Trump actually has the power to bring the FDA to a point that if we have something that's life-saving, life-changing, that we don't have to play this game of hide and freak. Okay, so understand that, everyone. So I don't mean to make it hard for you. My phone number is 469-861-8884, and it would be a pleasure to talk to you. It really would. And I will always call you back. I call everyone back. I actually caught up with my calls last night. Some days I might be a day or two behind, and please don't. The squeaky wheel gets the grease. You can call me Daryl, Doc, whatever you want, but just make sure that your questions matter. Your life always matters. And I apologize that you have to jump hurdles to get one of the most, well, to get the most powerful breakthrough, because this product has taken the irreversible, supposedly, the impossible, and made it I am possible. And we have thousands and thousands of testimonials to prove this. Okay? All it does is bring back your bone making, breaking, and your calcium ions as if you were youthful and even stronger if you take it. If you take it, you can increase your dosage on this. Dr. Serber, thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Wolf. So today we are going to talk about osteoporosis, and this is very interesting topic. So,
oh, Dr. Serber, I apologize. I promise I will be quiet. But everyone, feel free to send your questions in, and we will answer them, because osteoporosis is now affecting even 8-year-olds. And if you don't believe me, listen to all the children that are having fractures now. Okay? Yeah. That sweet tooth can be the end to everything. Dr. Serber?
yes, that's right. Osteoporosis was just for older people, but now we can see it is very dangerous. So I guess one thing is problem with this disease. Lots of time, if you think like osteoporosis is very common, so I don't have to worry about this. So it is affecting lots of people. It is making like this disease friendly or something like that. Even with the doctors, this is an orphan disease. They don't want to touch this type of patients. Why? Because they think that whatever they do is not helping patients. So this is a huge problem for them. They just try to use tons of calcium, tons of different medication, and result was not impressive. So it just become this type of orphan disease. Osteoporosis is very interesting disease. It is having a connection with every disease. Why? Because problem is coming from in all our systems because of the connection with the calcium. If your body is losing calcium, then your bone is starting to help them for giving this calcium. Just like acidosis in the blood, if we are having this imbalance with the pH level, which means acidic blood, then the bone is going to help them, because our blood will going to rob calcium from the bone, then problem will come. And then with this low level of calcium from the bone, we are going to face with lots of disease. So 1 second you are walking, the next you are falling. That's very important. Osteoporosis is under estimated disease. We have to think about this disease. Female or male patient, this is affecting our life just like our heart. So we have to support this bone with the right calcium, which is calcium ion therapy. It should go to the bone for this lack of calcium. I guess
if I can say this, just taking calcium products are never going to work. Okay? All right? Taking calcium products is never going to work. Most of the calcium you take is indigestible, and it actually can cause you problems. Rafa, am I on the video? Okay, all right. I can't see me. That's okay. But it's not going to work. I'm going to tell you something. We are the only true calcium ion therapy on the planet. And I'm not saying that you won't get a little bit of calcium from some of the other supplementation. Even people that say, we've got ionic calcium, it'll cross the stomach, but it won't get into the cell, and it won't. So everybody, you need to understand the science proves it. Thank you, doctor.
Thank you, Dr. Wolf. And when we talk about bone, we have to remember that we are talking about something alive. So there is a vessel. It is very interesting information. Maybe you will heard the first time that our bone has arteria and vein, which means we need blood for our bone. And bone is not just a hard and still. This is having a team for two jobs. We have one building team and one breaking team. So it's just like our house. If we want to restore our house, first we have to break the old wall and then we have to build new wall. But if we are breaking very fast and if we are not balancing the building part, and then our house will not going to be safe. We have to make balance with this building and breaking state. So, and then we can build much more faster our bone with giving this bone formation with the active form of calcium, which means we are looking for strong bones.
Absolutely. And if I can say this, everyone, just know this, that a lot of the people that they say, oh, my grandmother, my father, my husband fell down and fractured or broke a bone. Many people, the bone breaks and they fall. And that's how bad things have gotten. And understand, if you're over 60 years old and you break a major bone, okay, in your leg, okay, most people are so unhealthy today that guess what? I'm not kidding. They don't live past 6 months. So understand, this is where the health has gone. They're not going to talk about this, everyone, but if you don't do your research, why don't you go back 100 years and find out that none of this existed? Find out that we've been set up. Find out that the doctor you go to is uninformed and even dangerous because they're not into health. And I'm telling you, you need to find a real true health doctor that's going to put the power back into your hands. And that means you need to create a perfect day on how are you poisoning yourself, stealing the bone, and how do you know which foods are rich in calcium that you can actually uptake those and understand something. That's why I will not stop carrying calcium ion therapy no matter how hard they make it. The FDA or anyone else tries to stop us from getting it to people because guess what? It is life-changing. Dr. Server, please.
That's right. We have to correct this life-changing. We have to correct this daily habit. So if we think about patients' life, I think it's understandable. They want to solve that problem within a couple minutes. Let's just think that you have pain. So using painkiller, it seems like faster reaction and you can solve your problem. But what we have to do is we have to find the reason. That's the most important part. If you are not familiar with the root cause of your disease, then you have to realize that we should find the reason why this disease is happening, especially primary cause, toxins, infections, genetics, lifestyle, and also all of them is the first reason. So what is going to happen with this reason? Well, there is a calcium problem is coming with all this reason. So calcium problem means there is a calcium balance, which means we are not going to have appropriate available calcium for systemic function. With that, we are going to have lots of disease. We have to break this cycle. This calcium problems even has a name, calciumopathy, which means calcium imbalance, calcium problem, because calcium is not just a thing for bone. It is affecting all system. Also, it is a language for our body because calcium signaling is giving a chance between cells to communicate. So we are breaking that language, which means you are going to suffer from lots of illness. So let's break this secondary cause with correcting calcium signaling. And I guess osteoporosis is very obvious. Usually patients are not coming to doctor. They are not going to healthcare professional if they don't have a very huge problem such as fracture or something like that. But after the age 35, they are going to face with osteopenia. Osteopenia means your bone density, your bone quality is getting lower and lower, but there is no symptom. It is a silent thief. So osteoporosis is a huge problem, but before osteoporosis, our body is telling us that I need your help. I will come with the huge problem with this, which is osteoporosis. Dr. Wolf? Dr. Wolf, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess lots of time you can hear that osteoporosis is not that big problem because we can see for every age this disease, especially if they are getting older. So I don't have to worry about that. But this
it's called the silent crippler. So
Yeah.
everyone, it's called the silent crippler. So I need everyone to get this. The more that you're sick, which there is no sickness, it's always your body trying to get well. And the only people that get sick are the malnourished and the people that are poisoning themselves or don't know that they're being poisoned. And understand that the more symptoms you have, which they're not symptoms, they're just messages from your body that you are out of balance and you are acidic and you're on fire. So everyone, I need you to get this. Okay, first of all, we get infection. So understand that. Now, how do we get infection? Well, the things that we eat, but also the large intestine and the liver. If you don't look after those, okay, you are going to implode. Okay, your large intestine, check it out, everyone. You need daily cleansing tea, black gold, twice a day, every day. And I'm telling you that you would stave off 95% of all the problems that most people deal with. So understand, it's not just about taking calcium ion therapy. And the reality is this, you've got to know how to cleanse your liver. And the only way is through an ultimate coffee enema. Do your research in the Perfect Day Guide, pdgfree.com. Now understand this. So we get poisoned, whether unconsciously or consciously, doing it ourselves or from other things that we don't know. Then we get infection. Infection goes to what? Inflammation. Inflammation goes to acidity. Acidity is dangerous. Acidity brings down the electrical conductivity of your cells. It's supposed to be 0.04 volts. If you take a look at anybody where they have osteoporosis in their body, they have inflammation, and guess what? They're down to 0.03 volts or even lower. Yes. And the oxygen's even lower. So that means the acidity is eating up the oxygen, taking away your energy, which is your electrical conductivity. So we have to bring in the calcium, okay, to get rid of the acidity, because that is the problem. So the more symptoms you have, the longer you have this so-called dis-ease, being out of alignment, okay, the more that you're going to take the calcium. So the sicker you get, and the longer it lasts, the more that you are becoming Swiss cheese. And understand something, the medical system will never look at this properly, because understand, they've never made anything that healed anybody yet. And they haven't. That's not their job. Their job is to just make you more comfortable as you're in decline. And you might think, oh my gosh, Daryl, please be nice. I am. They're great for emergencies, but they're causing a lot of them, because until you take your power back, okay, and understand the actual chemistry of the human body, you're in trouble. Dr. Server?
Yes, that's right. that's actually hiding osteoporosis behind the diseases, because with the disease, with the acidosis, we are constantly looking for calcium. So please give me a calcium. Then we are losing our bone. So on the left side, we can see normal bone. So when we go to the right side, we can see the outer side is fine. It looks outside as good, but with losing calcium, inside is getting weaker and weaker. So for that reason, we are increasing the risk of fracture. That is making very dangerous. It's actually changing all their life. If somebody is suffering from osteoporosis, by the time they can get in big trouble because of this fracture risk. And not just with the calcium problem, also with the physical activity, we have to remember there is a problem. Our bone is looking for calcium. It has welcome gate for calcium, but this gate is not opening constantly or instantly. First, we have to trigger signaling or pathway, or we have to have an exercise for opening these tiny channels. These are the channels that are looking for calcium. They are desperate for calcium, but still, this is not an open door. They are working hardly inside the cell, but from the outside, they are looking for this mechanical stimulation, which means good exercise, not hard, but appropriate exercise is opening this calcium channel. Also, with calcium ion therapy, we are doing same thing. We are triggering this calcium signaling mechanism, and also we are triggering this calcium pathway for opening this door easily with not making that much physical exercise.
And understand something, everybody, and you need to get this. We just naturally got exercise 50 years ago. Once the computer came out, once the telephone came out, the iPad came out. Okay? Understand this. I hope you know this. Prisoners in the United States get more outdoor playtime than children do today. It's not a conspiracy, it's a setup. And understand something, blue light poison, okay? Does anybody know that blue light actually shuts down the bone making and breaking in the body? Does everybody understand that blue light actually stops the actual production of your good hormones and chemicals? It stops it. And if it doesn't stop it, it disrupts it. You haven't seen anything yet. Wait till you see. Okay, you want to talk about turbo cancer? Let's just talk about turbo everything. And understand something. Your body has to donate all this calcium, okay, rob Peter, pay Paul. And it's going to continue. And you know what? It's all out of hand. And I know that some of you are going, oh my God, our Savior's here. Okay, I'm not saying that you didn't vote for the right person or didn't, but understand something on a personal level. Most of you will never feel the changes that are going to happen unless you take massive personal action and become your own practitioner, which means, guess what? That you're going to have to what? Become emotionally mature. Meaning, guess what? If I don't get the right facts and information, I will be action, reaction. I'll be attacking myself continually because I'll be in chaos because I don't even know what I'm doing. And I don't know how to create a perfect day, Dr. Serber.
That's right. And the sad thing is, it is not very obvious. It is not visible for patients to see why this problem is happening because, as Dr. Wolf said, it's a silent danger. So osteoporosis is affecting millions of people. And then we have to realize that fracture risk is not something that normal risk. It's a high risk. Also, with this fracture risk, we have to remember that it is going to change whole their life. So for osteoporotic patient, we have to immediately take an action for this calcium imbalance. We also have to make an exercise for solving this problem immediately. So, but we have to remember what should we do, not just like jumping to the exercise. We have to remember there is a good exercise and also bad exercise for osteoporotic patient, because we have to balance, we have to think about the coordination and muscle strength. And also we have to think that if we are not doing good exercise, we can even cause bone fracture easily.
Dr. Server, and
Yeah.
notice everyone, you know, you people that love to get your running shoes on, and you love to just run the pavement because you live in a city, just know this, not just hurting yourself there, you're getting runner's heart. Any of you that run hardcore until you get that adrenaline rush because you really want it, you're getting runner's heart. You're going to get scar tissue and inflammation in your heart. Thank you very much. And you're actually going to be stealing so many minerals because you're pushing it farther than you should, creating an acidic condition in the body that, guess what, now because of the other alkaline minerals you're stealing, you had to steal calcium from your bones so that you didn't become inflamed, acidic, and then what they call autoimmune diseases, or all the way to cancer, which is just stage 4 inflammation because of what you did, creating the acidity. You know, it's not rocket science. You know what? I will do rebounding. I will do swimming. Okay. You need to do things that actually stress the body, but don't stress it to the point that you become acidic. Okay. If you hurt for a day after you've worked out or 2 days, you just damaged yourself. Okay. Everything is hardcore today. Oh, honey. Okay. It's spring. You buy a pair of running shoes. I'm going to get in shape. Meanwhile, the guy looks like he's 6 months pregnant, and he goes in there and he goes out for a run, which he hasn't even done any stretching or doesn't even know how to breathe properly. Okay, understand something, everyone. We've been set up, and the opposite of set up is upset. And so we get upset because we were set up and we think there's something wrong with us. But guess what? We were never taught this. We're not even taught this from our doctors. And even most natural health practitioners don't have this science. You know what? The reason I'm like I am is because there's no authority over me and I have no fear to tell the truth. You think I'm kidding? Most practitioners will keep their mouth shut because they're fearful of so-called authority. Understand something. We have to stop being scared. We need to stand in our power. Dr. Server, please.
Yes, we have to take care of ourselves. We have to think, what should we do and what shouldn't we do? So we have to move smart. We have to do certain type of exercise, like gentle walking, cycling, or elliptical movement. But we shouldn't jump. We shouldn't think about jumping. Clap, push-up. These are dangerous movements, especially if your age is not very young. So we have to be careful. And also, we have to eat smart. We shouldn't think like processed grains or the food that is not natural. When we go to the market, we can see that name. It's called natural something. If we see that name, it doesn't mean that it is natural. We have to see real food which is natural by our eyes. So it is very important to avoid that type of food. Also, we have to remember dangerous exercise is going to cause lots of problems. So when we come to the real cases, how can we improve our bone quality? Let's move on to the cases. This patient was having osteopenia, and this patient's T-score was minus 2.0, which means it was close to the osteoporosis. After using calcium ion therapy, just with 6 months, we just saw that patient's T-score has improved and bone was much more stronger than earlier. So using calcium ion therapy, no matter what age, it is going to increase bone quality, not just bone mineral density. It is going to affect whole bone from inside to outside. And 6 months is very short period of time for changing our bone quality. Another case, 66 years old male patient. When this patient came to the doctor with T-score, which was minus 1.7, which means this patient is close to the osteoporosis. So they have to take an action immediately and they start to use calcium ion therapy. This green color is showing the normal range for bone quality. So within 4 months, they just got this result. Dr. Wolf, what do you think about this timeline? 4 months.
Well, I know that there's two master communicators in the human body. Nothing can outdo calcium ions. Calcium ions are the king of this. The queen of that would be iodine ions. But calcium ions, 120,000 people, and hormonal processes per second. So you have to understand, everyone, you could be taking calcium ion therapy, all right? Okay? You know, something like, it could be Marigen, okay, because you've got a chronic problem and you need to bring the fire down. Or it could be Dentagen because your teeth are crumbling and so is your jaw, okay? Or you could be doing Cardigen, all right? Cardigen, which is for the joints. One last one. If you're healthy and you were to take Megagen on a continual basis, you wouldn't have osteoporosis. That's the deal of this whole thing. So understand, there's nothing more powerful, people. There are things that do other things in the body. But remember, when you are affecting 120,000 different chemical and hormonal aspects per second, you're not talking about just building your bones. You're talking about hormonal, chemical. You're talking about the way you feel, everything from your nose to your toes. It's that this is the main operations manager is calcium ions. And guess what? You may not like this. You may think it's a setup, okay? But understand something. By the time you're 30, you're not making calcium ions unless you're doing advanced water fasting, unless you're eating a really good perfect day lifestyle. You're just not anymore. You're decreasing. And then I can say this about iodine. We don't make iodine. Everybody needs iodine every day. So if I had my choice and it wasn't that there was a financial problem in the world, because that's a setup too. We're all set up, okay, to be enslaved by money. Thank you very much to the Rothschilds. But the reality is, if everyone did calcium ion therapy and they got the proper iodine, like infinite iodine every day, oh my gosh, do you understand the thunder that would come down? I mean, this would wipe them out. Why do you think the FDA blocks us from allowing you to just go on and buy your product? You have to go on there, and you know what? When you go on there, it's going to tell you have to call in to order it. And I want you to call me anyways. I want to make sure you're doing the right product, not wasting your money. If there's things that you're doing in your lifestyle that I can help you reduce the fire, then the calcium ion will do its better therapy. So, in some ways, they've made us become more professional in how we do it. So, there is an upside to this. And then once you've bought it, you've got a 6-month code that we will renew every 6 months for you. But this is the game we have to play in life. There's a lot of things in life that we don't like, but you know what? We just got to keep on being strategists. It's always about strategy, everyone. And understand something, I'm going to say this. Rob Peter to pay Paul. That's what you're doing. And understand something. If you don't want to make some kind of daily, donation to the body and help to support it, then guess what? You will have what they call a chronic disease or an autoimmune disease, and you'll be running around, and there is no autoimmune diseases. That's all made up. You're just infected, baby, and you're malnourished, okay? And when you get that way, you're on fire. When you're on fire, calcium is used to put out the fire, and guess what? Now you're Swiss cheese, and guess what? You didn't fall down and break your bone. Your bone just crumbled. It couldn't even handle the weight anymore. Okay, that's the same thing. Look at you. Everybody's teeth are breaking, and guess what? They're breaking because they have to give up the calcium because you're so acidic. Yeah, but hold on a second. I thought it was just the sugar I ate. No, it's not. No, most of you have bum disease, so you have gum disease, okay? And everybody, guess what? You never heard that, did you? Well, understand something. That's how toxic people are. That's how, they don't even understand. Did you know that, I'm going to tell you, Dr. Server, you probably don't know this. They did a major study, and this study just completed. And did you know that only 5% of the population has lactobacillus acidophilus bacteria inside their bowel, or bifidobacterium? 5% of the population. Everybody's rotting out. Everybody's rotting out. Your large intestine is supposed to be a compost, creating great bacteria and immunity. 85% of your immune system comes from there, and people are rotting out. 99% of the population has parasites. These parasites are throwing up and pooping in you, and go do all the parasite cleanses you want. But if you were to get on things like Black Gold, daily cleansing tea twice a day, you'd never have to do that again. You'd never have to do a heavy metal cleanse again. You understand something? Guess what? You know, Dr. Server, how they say an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure? Well, guess what? An ounce of prevention every day is worth 10 tons of cure. Because guess what? The only cure is maintaining your body and showing it love, honor, and respect. And you do it on a daily basis. And that's why we tell everyone, you know, even if you, as long as you do a little bit each day, okay, then you don't pay the piper. You don't get this, people. You don't understand. Your body's a Visa card. You've been spending by terrorizing yourself, because we are emotionally immature, all of us, until we are mature. And I say only 1 out of 1,000 people make it there. And then the rest of the people eat the so-called normal diet. And we know that the majority of the population is poisoning themselves. So the reality is that Visa card is blown out, and the bank wants it back. And guess what? That's your body. Your body is saying, you don't deserve this anymore because you didn't make any payments. And that's why we do calcium ion therapy a little bit every day. That's why we try to create what we call a perfect day. Would you like to be a 911 emergency and always running to the rescue? I mean, it's a setup. Listen, that's how the medical system does it. And most natural health practitioners, oh, you need to do a parasite cleanse every 6 months or 9 months. Why don't you just do things that keep you healthy, that keep your vibration up? No parasite could ever live in a high vibrational person. I hope you know that. And guess what? They only come to decomposing tissue. That's the only place you're going to find them. Whether it's bad bacteria, because it's all about terrain, whether it's bad bacteria, whether it's worms, okay, and there is no such thing as a live virus. And guess what? Nobody catches infection from anyone else, everybody. You couldn't prove it. I will challenge anyone that we do not create diseases for each other in any way, whether it's bacteria or viruses or worms or anything else. That's all made up. There's nobody that can even show me one research that we give infection to another person, okay? You know what? Enough. Okay, everything is to scare you, to distract you, to make you feel unempowered, all right? And everything that we do here at Braveheart Nation, Doc of Detox, is to empower you. You must become your own practitioner. You must make your own decisions. You must create that perfect day. Dr. Serber?
And as you said, microbiota, which is very important point, because of lots of people, especially they are using for their kids antibiotics, which is the huge problem. It is going to kill all bacteria in the gut. Maybe you might think that it's not a big deal, so it will come again. But the problem is, if you use that type of product, or if you are not using natural product, then you will lose that bacteria level in your microbiota, which means you are going to increase the parasites, and which this increasement is going to cause lots of problem. Our body is having a good strategy for balance. Lots of time it is trying to balance in every level, including calcium, including our microbiota, especially for calcium, because every cell is using calcium. Strategy is making very precise regulation with the calcium. What we do is our hormones are trying to make balance with calcium with two hormones, calcitonin and parathyroid hormone. So what calcium ion therapy does is it is only touching this hormone. Let's say for osteoporotic patient, if they have calcium deficiency in the bone, then it is touching to calcitonin, and then it is touching to parathyroid hormone for correcting this calcium balance to coming the right area with the calcium. Let's look at this case. 62 years old female patient suffering from severe osteoporosis. We have to see that this red zone is very dangerous. In every minute, it might cause fracture. So I guess 3 months, which is very fast action. T-score was minus 3.9, and it just came to the minus 2.7, which is tremendous improvement with this bone quality for especially this age of patient.
If I can also say a little story here, Lori and I were in Texas, and this was about 15 years ago, and there was a gate that was closed, and we had to get around this gate, so we went through this field. The grass was high. Her foot went down, and it was about a hole about a foot deep, and her foot twisted, and it fractured. And the tibia and the fibia fractured to the point, Dr. Server, that they actually told her that she had to have surgery. It would never heal. The fractures were too wide. They said it's impossible. The body doesn't heal like that. I'm not making this up. I've got all the proof. I've got the x-ray still. Yeah. So we went there and they said she's going to have screws, 2 plates. It's going to take 18 months for complete healing. You should see how they pushed us. And please don't take this wrong. But first they said we had to do it. And I said, no, we're not going to do it. We know we can heal it. Oh, no, you're wrong. You're wrong. You know what? And then they go out and they brought in a nurse. And then they went and they brought in another doctor. It just kept going for about 20 minutes. And I just said, we're not doing it. And we left. Okay? And the reality is, everyone, and you can take this to the bank. It took us 9 months. She did marriage 3 to 4 times a day. And in 9 months, it was completely healed, Dr. Server. And they said that it was physically impossible because the gaps were too big and the damage was so bad. Okay? And understand something. You know, Lori has perfect bones today because we take it. I'll get up in the middle of the night, I'll take it. You know, I'll try to do it twice a day. If I don't, I take it at least once a day. And understand something, everyone. Just so you know, 3 years ago, because of Braveheart Nation, okay, so we created what was called BHNapp.com, BraveheartNationapp.com. We created Braveheart Nation Studios here. We have become pretty big, and I've never had life insurance, Dr. Server. And so anyways, I'll be 68. 4 years ago, I went to get insurance because my accountant said, you know, you need to get insurance, Daryl. It's not about life insurance, but at least, you know, we can pay into it. And if something happens to you, it will financially help the company try to resolve things if you ever decide to leave Dodge, I guess. I don't know. And so I went in, and just so you know this, everyone, They said that I had the health. My health was the health of a healthy 40-year-old. Okay, so I was 64 years old when I went to get my first insurance, my life insurance policy. 64, because I don't believe in life insurance. Because believe in life insurance, I'd be thinking about my death. It's also like health insurance, that I'm going to get sick, right? And I don't have health insurance either. And people would say, "Oh, you're awful stupid about that," but no, I just don't. You know, it's what I teach in my whole life. Health certified is all about your mindset, and whether you believe it or not, it's everything. There's my story.
Yeah. I guess life is always showing us how can we get rid of all this problem, but we have to see how can we solve this problem with the appropriate document or with the appropriate product that is going to be helpful for us. So for some patient, sometimes even touching that patient is going to be helpful. No matter what age, it is going to change their life because they are coming to you. I lots of time heard that this is impossible, and then they are seeing the results because calcium ion therapy is changing whole system in our body. With that, we can see the result no matter what type of disease. Osteoporosis is just like making very obvious the change in our body, because as a patient, I can understand them. They want to see the difference. So osteoporotic patients are a good picture for showing that they have calcium imbalance. So it is good picture with the bone. So if there is a problem with the calcium balance, just like this patient, we will have to solve this problem from the bone quality. So this patient is suffering from osteoporosis with the minus 2.6, so only with 3 months. So we have to realize that usually if patient is suffering from osteoporosis, 3 months is very short period of time. It is not easy to change whole system with reprogramming our cell, because the beauty about calcium ion therapy is in the cellular level, which is I'm a molecular medicine specialist, we are reprogramming our cells for working properly, not for right now, not for next week, for whole our life. We are educating our cells for making correct calcium signaling. For that reason, it is very effective. It is working this much fast, and then you can see result whenever you also stop the treatment, depend on your condition, of course. And another case, 60 years old female patient. This patient was having osteopenia. So this yellow color is showing it is in the middle, but after using calcium ion therapy, patient's T-score was just increased 1.4 within only 3 months. So Dr. Wolf, I have to say that changing bone quality is very important. Sometimes some patients are coming because of the DEXA scan. This is a DEXA scan. Are they usually coming to you with the DEXA scan, or they are coming with a different type of test for looking their bone quality? Because DEXA is not always showing the exact results.
That's right. And when they do that, we let them know that. But what we do is we do free bone density scan here in Ixtapa, Zihuatanejo, Mexico. And we also do it at the DoD Power Pack Doc of Detox Clinic in Kelowna, British Columbia. We do it free. And people can actually track for free. They can track how well their perfect day diet's going, how well it's going with taking the ion calcium. We can actually tell. So, and we actually can tell by what they're doing if they're not behaving throughout their day. You understand? And I want to say something, everybody, and this is a really important thing. And I don't know if you know this, Dr. Serber, but most cancer clinics, their main thing, even though they're going to do all kinds of blood tests and everything else, the best test to see if you are actually reversing what they call cancer, I'll call it stage 4-5 inflammation, thank you, is actually how the bone density is healing. And when you are back to proper bone density, you don't have what they call cancer. It's all logical, everybody. And I'm telling you, this is how these natural cancer clinics that are more natural, this is how they actually do it. And they go, well, this is proof in pudding that, if your bones are coming back, then we know that balance is coming back and you are healing from this. Dr. Server?
And we have to listen our body carefully. For no matter what type of disease, our body is always telling us something, giving us a clue about the disease. So when we listen carefully, we can take an action easily and faster than it's necessary. For that reason, lots of time they are coming very late. It is just like thinking that my health is not that much important. Just we have to say that this is the most important thing. If I even hear something very with the small sound, still we have to be careful. We have to listen. So 58 years old female patient, this patient was having osteopenic state. So T-score was increased within 5 months. So again, another powerful result, calcium ion therapy is just changing the bone quality, and then result is coming. This patient is lucky because they come to the doctor. If they wouldn't come, they wouldn't even think that there is a problem with my bone. But after the age 35, we have to remember, we have to check our bone quality whenever is possible, because probably you are in this yellow zone. And this individual, I wouldn't call as a patient because they use as a maintenance calcium ion therapy 1 time a day for 7 years, this individual. So after using calcium ion therapy 7 years, we get this result. It is almost above the normal range. So bone quality is so good. So we have to look our bone quality. We have to have this desire with this green color, which is showing the best quality of the bone. Not just one case. This patient, this picture is also showing the individual's result with bone mineral density. This is female individuals, about 100 individuals. We can see how bone mineral density has been increased. Green color is showing this increase in the bone mineral density. So not one patient, not one result. We can see T-score improvement whenever they start to use calcium ion therapy. Dr. Wolf?
Absolutely, sir. We see it all the time, and understand, everyone, when you purchase calcium ion therapy from us, okay, we're going to also take a look at your lifestyle so that the lifestyle supports the calcium ion therapy, which will increase the actual success of what you're trying to accomplish. And understand, calcium ion therapy, it affects everything from A to Z. We're not just talking about osteoporosis. We're talking about absolutely everything in the human body. it will actually affect. Okay? Dr. Server?
That's right. We want to affect our bone because bone is not just for integrity, it is for everything in our body. As you may remember, calcium is the element that is giving us chance for communication. So for osteoporosis or for autoimmune disease or for any type of infection, we have connection with the bone because bone, oh, poor guy, he is always ready for giving calcium. It's a bank of calcium. But the problem is he's not ready for saying no for any type of cell. And that means we are constantly losing the calcium from the bone. So if you stop giving this calcium to the osteocyte, which is bone cell, then you will be in trouble. Especially if you don't have a symptom, it is much more harder. It is going to be a silent disease. So you will wait for certain time to feel comfortable. Okay, I don't have any problem, but guess what? Your bone is going to have a huge problem, and suddenly you will realize that you only have a picture of your bone, but inside there is a huge hole without calcium because calcium is waiting outside the bone. It is in the blood, which means you are also changing the pH level in the blood for your patient. So liver is going to affect from this disease. Your cellular level is going to have a huge damage. So we have to stop from that cellular level for bone quality. Bone quality should be in the top of the disease. What do you think, Dr. Wolf?
I'm going to tell you, everybody, right now, and here it is. Just like how Dr. Server, he's so right. You don't feel any problems with your bones until you're in big trouble. But guess what? If you are actually, and don't take this wrong, but if you're actually following me and listening to my teachings, you actually listen to my teachings, you would understand the domino effect, okay, of learning how to bone up or break down. And understand, guess what? You know what? Everybody, now don't tell me you haven't, because you know people, your family. All we're hearing now is people with kidney problems. Nobody has a kidney problem unless they've had a bowel problem for years. And that bowel problem is called what we call a screen door in a submarine. They call it leaky gut, but there's no leaky gut, it's leaky large intestine. And then you're backing up all the waste and you're giving a burden to the liver. And once these two are in trouble, how many people have E. coli problems in their kidneys? And then guess what? You've got kidney problem, you got kidney disease. And then people go and focus on the kidney, and guess what they do? They don't focus on the large intestine or the liver, because that's what's going to fix the kidney. Everything's ass backwards out there. Understand this. And the more infection, the more inflammation you have is leading to osteoporosis. Just like it's leading to kidney disease. And when you get trouble with your kidneys, they say it's too late. It's not too late. Okay, that's what they always say. You know, it's always just too late. Everything's just too late. It's not too late. But are you willing to take massive personal action? Are you willing to spend money? Please don't get me wrong. I'm not after your money. You can think I am, but I'm not after your money. But if you're not willing to go in because you've been paying Paul and robbing Peter, okay, you're going to have to catch up on some of those monthly payments over the last few years, or you're not going to reverse anything. That's the bottom line. You know, I'm not an ambulance chaser. I'm telling you, if you want to stay out of an ambulance, you know, you're going to have to replace what is missing. That's it. Unless you're doing daily maintenance, you're always running to the rescue. You know, where do you think the fire truck goes? It goes to the fire. Where do you think the calcium goes? The bigger the fire, the more calcium you're going to lose. That's the bottom line. And understand, everyone, we want to thank you for joining us today. And next week, not next week, but in 2 weeks, Dr. Server, I'd like to talk about calcium ion therapy and advanced water fasting and stem cells. Okay? That's what I'd like to talk about, because we have another advanced water fasting coming up. And guess what? You may not know this, but calcium ion therapy, okay, jacks up your stem cell making in the body. That's already proven. And we're going to prove that in 2 weeks. Dr. Server?
Thank you, Dr. Wolf. I will be happy to talk about that, because stem cell is going to affect lots of system. And I guess it is very important that we have to take an action, because lots of patients are waiting for certain level and then they are trying to help themselves. So we have to start from the beginning, from the initiating that time. It will affect our patient's life, especially with the stem cell therapy, water fasting. I will be very happy to talk about that.
Thank you, sir. And thank you for joining me today. And just know this, everyone. This is for informational purposes, and understand, we don't cure. Okay, we're not curing anything. We're bringing balance to the body. Calcium ion therapy, I told you, could get rid of everything from A to Z. We're not talking about a cure. We're talking about bringing balance. Dis-ease means that you're out of balance, you're out of alignment, something's missing. We just need to return our God-given innate healing. That's it. That's all we're doing. Okay? We're not healers. We're creating the vibration, the frequency, and the strategy for the body to heal itself. Dr. Server?
That's right. And also, word doctor is coming from the teacher. Teaching a doctrine, or is teaching, means you are teaching your patient to how you have to have this life. It is not like forcing you. We are just giving a way to do better. The choice is yours, so you are going to make a decision about your life.
When the nature of all things is being stolen from us, we only want to return the nature of all things back to you. Okay, understand something. Do not take a look around and think that anything is normal anymore. There is only disease because man has corrupted himself to a point that I don't even know. I can't even recognize it in. Greed, power, okay? And then we've got people like Bill Gates, who says the population, there's too many people. My God, whether I'm in Mexico or whether I'm home in the United States, I can drive sometimes for 2 days and not see anybody. And understand something, everything's a lie. Everything's a lie. Everything is a lie. And you need to know that. And this is why I'm telling you that the majority of the population is going to stay emotionally immature. And it's not their fault. And understand this, the day that we no longer believe that henny penny the sky's falling in, and we calm down and connect to our lion heart breathing, put a slight smile on, and do our own homework and become the healers, the heroes that we're looking for, this ends. Dr. Server, thank you for joining me today.
Dr. Wolf, thank you so much for this great opportunity. I look forward to talk about stem cell and also water fasting.
Absolutely, sir. Have a beautiful day, and God bless.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye, my friend. We have a few questions here. I'm going to go over them with you right now. Where can I get black gold? You go to docofdetoxstore.com. That's it. And actually, I think it's on sale right now. We usually try, and people always say to me, oh, can I get a deal? Listen, everyone, if you love a product, when it's on sale, just buy more of it, okay? All right? That would be the best thing to do. Please help me, Patty says, please help me get off of anti-anxiety drug without damaging my brain. These poisons are so difficult to detox without your body going into shock. Listen, Patty, feel free to call me love, but I will tell you that just so you know, whether you're talking about, if we could show the slide, everyone, the Merigen and the Alzagen really affect the brain. The Alzagen, you know, it's for Alzheimer's, but it's not. It's for brain. It's for the brain. But understand this, okay? Whether you want to believe this or not, love, the Merigen will affect the brain. It's an amazing product if it's affordable. You need to understand that most people have anxiety today. Most people cannot lose weight today. Most children cannot sleep today, cannot focus today. We have all these turbo diseases because of blue light poisoning. And guess what? Dr. Wolf is just a quack until he's right. So you'll see 3 years from now, it'll take about 3 years, and you'll find out that everybody's going to find out that blue light poisoning is more dangerous than 5G. And even a lot of the foods that are so toxic today, it's blue light that's killing everyone, and just turbo disease all over the place. And you know, these Tesla Lightwear, these are the most strongest nutritional supplement you'll ever take, because you're continually, through Tesla Lightwear, you're continually creating what we call C60, and it'll actually repair your brain, your eyes, your nervous system. It'll actually put you into a parasympathetic state. It stops the fire. It stops the acidity. So we have to support ourselves. Any of you that work on a computer, just know this: 30 seconds with a baby or a young child is already disrupted their chemicals and hormones. 3 minutes with an adult, and understand that's when your chemicals and hormones are not being produced properly. So just know this. Next thing I'm going to say is, Patty, take a look at the Perfect Brain product, and take a look at the Miracle Molecule, which is a split. It's MCT C60 and hemp oil C60, and then also Beyond Ormus Minerals. Now, do these things and start with these things. But Patty, if you want to give me a call, we'll take a look at other things that you don't even know that you're creating your own anxiety. Because what happens is people go through life and they see everybody losing their shit all the time, you know? And think about it, Patty. Think about the things that create anxiety in you, and that you've got to write a new story. You need to get a Braveheart love band, like right here, and put that on your wrist, loves. Look at this. This is a Braveheart love band, okay? All right? You can't see it, but it says 3, 2, 1, I got this, okay? And what we do is, when you start going down anxiety alley, you just go, 3, 2, 1, I got this. I love and approve of myself. There's a new sheriff in town. That's the old me. Okay, you need to snap yourself back to the present moment. This is kissing. Listen. Hear that? This is snug as a hug. Yeah, if you don't want to rewrite your personality, you're going to burn up, girl. And I need you to sit down and take a look and put down all the things that you worry about on this page. And then take a look, and you'll find out that 99% of them never come true. And all you do is running a program like you're some dysfunctional computer, because the subconscious only runs programs. It doesn't have logic thought, doesn't have critical thinking. And I'll tell you, Patty, if you want this to stop, come to my Braveheart, not my Braveheart, come to my Whole Life Health Certified. It's in Stuart, Florida. The next one's not until October in Ixtapa, Zihuatanejo. I only take 24 maximum in a class, because everybody in there is going to get their coconut cracked, and they're going to get brainwash boot camp, where they can actually find and learn how to have unconditional love and care for themselves. And guess what? Mind their own business, that they don't need approval from everyone. We just use everyone. I'm telling you, and you can believe this or not, almost everybody you know is emotionally immature. And you're emotionally immature, and I'm not picking on you, but there's an 8-year-old trapped in an adult body because we've never been given the strategies. I mean, if nobody's been given strategies, okay, on how to be emotionally intelligent, then we're not going to have it. So when you take a look at the majority of your family and your friends and everybody around you, why in the heck do you think you'll ever change? And this is why I put this 9-day course together. And I've been doing this for 40 years. So understand, we've mastered it. Give me a call if you want. We can chat. Maybe it's not what you want to do. But just know this, everyone. I only have 4 spots left in the Stewart course. That's it. And we're 4 weeks away. All right? This is not a sales pitch. You'll see there'll be 24 in this course. There'll be 24 in all the courses. All right? Let me see here. Let me get back to my... Can you come here and help me? I just lost the questions. You know how I flick the wrong things all the time. Jenny, can you get the questions back? Thank you. Understand, everyone. Get off the beaten path. You're just going to be beaten, okay? You're just going to get beat. Okay, here we go. I'll finish these up and then, because we've got another show coming up here, real short. Is calcium ion the same as calcium iodine? No, it's not. Calcium ion therapy is calcium ion therapy. This is calcium ion therapy. We don't have calcium iodine. We have calcium ion therapy, and then we have infinite iodine. And our infinite iodine is the only pure molecular iodine in the world that you can actually nebulize it, and it's beyond amazing. I'm not going to get into it today, but if you actually nebulize with infinite iodine or nebulized with calcium ion therapy, it's mind-blowing. It's better than anything intravenous. It's better than a drip. I'm telling you right now, a gas is way better than a liquid. I hope you get this, everyone. That's why the FDA threw out 350 nebulizers of mine and told me I'm never allowed to sell them. Really? They sell them on every corner. Why can't I sell them? It's because of what I put in them. All right. Can you delete Frederick Leonard, please, off Rafa? Yeah, okay, he's just a troll. Frederick Leonard, okay, he's trolling. Thank you. All right, everyone, just know this, we do have a sale on, I don't remember everything that's on it, but it's a lot of our flagship products. Dr. Sage Wolf is traveling. He's right now in Calgary. He will be in St. Louis, Missouri. He will be in Detroit, Michigan. He will be in LA, California. Okay. And he will be doing thermography there, Wolf non-surgical, so sonic regeneration, cardio med bed, consultations, so heavy metal testing. So if you would like, go to bhnuniversity.com. So that's St. Louis, Missouri, Detroit, Michigan, LA, California, Stewart, Florida, okay? And also we will be doing the Whole Life Health Certified in Stewart, Florida coming up on May 14th. And then we will be doing the Wolf non-surgical right after it. Okay, Dr. Sage Wolf will also be doing a Wolf non-surgical certified course in LA, California. He'll be doing another one in Calgary. It's coming up pretty short here in Canada. And then he's doing the other one in Stewart, Florida. And that is in, that course is at the end of May in Stewart, Florida. But you can check the other courses if you want. And they're all filling up pretty quick, okay? Because we won't be doing any courses during the summer. And the next one after that will be in Ixtapa in October, Ixtapa Zihuatanejo. And this is the home of Dr. Detox, Braveheart Nation, BHN TV studios as well, okay? Let me see here. Okay. Sorry. Okay. All right, just know this, that on April the 27th, Jim Gale's flying in. There'll be 24 people coming on. And this will be about Origins, Reclaim a Movement Back to Eden. This is how to become sovereign. This is how to grow your own food forest, permaculture, electroculture. They'll be talking about taxation. They'll be talking about all things freedom. Listen to me, everyone. Until everyone's free, none of us are free, okay? Understand that, all right? And we are down here, we have what's called DOD 5-star, and we only take 3 3 patients, clients at a time, and they get specific treatments, training, healing. We bring the thunder down here. We have cardio med bed, we have cell sonic regeneration, and we do non-surgical on them pretty well every day. We do a lot of work with these people, and when they leave, they know how to have a perfect day and how to keep their health and not give it away again. DoD flagship nutraceutical sales on right now, and these are all the platforms that you can see us. If you ever want to look for a show that you can't find, go to Telegram, Doc of Detox on Telegram. That's the key one if you can't find a show. Next thing, these are all where you can download our audios. These are all the programs you can go there. Rock with the Doc is April the 26th, one day before Jim Gale's big event. And this is 4 hours where you can call in. And if you go to bhnuniversity.com, you can get the Zoom link and you can call in and ask all your questions. Any questions. Go ahead and challenge me, okay? You know, I'm not hiding anywhere, okay? I'm only going to tell you the truth from my heart, okay? If you have any questions, I'll be on from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Saturday, April the 26th. We have fulfillment centers in Australia, Canada, United States, but we ship all over the world. If you get on there and you order from Australia, the products will come from our Australia warehouse. So just go to docofdetoxstore.com or shopdodnow.com. Okay? All right, but we do ship all over the world. I've had somebody on here asking that. Okay? If you want to save money or make money, join our affiliate program at docofdetoxpartner.com. Get an affiliate link, share it with your family, and we will bonus you. Okay? All right? And those of you that are already health practitioners, call me up, okay, at 469-861-8884 or 9454, and we will sign you up if you are a health practitioner, and you will get wholesale for our products, okay? We have what's called DoDPowerPack.com, everyone. I don't want to get into it too long, but we have what's called a cell sonic regeneration. It's 25,000 volts put into a love harmonic. We have what's called a cardio med bed. Cardio med bed, if you had perfect circulation, what would you have? Well, you'd have perfect health. End of story. And then go to DoDPowerPack.com if you would like to open up your own DoD Power Pack clinic. And understand, you could be coming from scratch and not even know anything about health, okay? Or you're already a practitioner. We give you so much more support and training. Both of these devices, when you buy them, you get $10,000 training on both of them. That's right. And the cardio med beds we sell, they're $150,000 to $250,000. They were in hospitals. I've got a contract. We have about 8 left of those, and then we have to find a new avenue for them. But we sell them for $35,000, and you get a $10,000 training. We're creating in DoD Power Pack clinics all over the world, and guess what? We are the place to go. I'm telling you, not me, but any of the practitioners we're teaching. And understand something. I do trainings every